Hi, I'm Paul Mehling, and welcome to another acoustic guitar lesson. Today we're going to talk about how to play better by playing slower. It'll actually make you faster and cleaner and more musical all at the same time. The idea of playing slowly to get better at playing fast may seem counterintuitive, but trust me, I'm an old dog. I've been trying to play fast all my life, and I'm finally getting there because I'm learning to slow down. If you mispronounced a word, 9 out of 10 people, if they said aluminum, 9 out of 10 people would stop themselves and say slowly and deliberately, aluminum. I've taught a lot of students, and it's a very rare student that knows when they make a mistake to stop themselves and repeat the passage that they made the mistake playing and do it slowly. So for instance, if you were playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, let's just use something simple. So something everybody can relate to. Maybe you can't relate to it, but just bear with me. You might just plow through it and make a mistake. So I would suggest anytime that you make a mistake, play something at half tempo. This gives you an opportunity to look for any difficult places where you might be putting your finger down wrong. You might have the underside of your finger hitting the string below it. In this kind of way, I'm going to play on the G string, and the bottom of my finger is hitting the B string, and it's not letting the string sing. So you might have that problem. You might just not be pressing down hard enough. Playing slowly gives you the opportunity to identify where these problems are. And again, most athletes, for instance, baseball pitchers, they dream of their motions in slow motion as a way of practicing. I say dream, but when you're awake and lucid, they think about every little movement and where the hitch might be that's hanging them up from doing their best. So again, and while you're at it, why not take the opportunity to clean up every aspect of your playing? For instance, the right hand. You could do this with alternate picking, or you could do it with all downstrokes, or you could do it with upstrokes. You could start using vibrato. There's no end to the ways you can improve your playing. And doing it in slow motion like this gives you an opportunity to sort of experiment. And it also, like I said at the very beginning, it's a great way to learn where the problems are that you need to clean up. Another example might be if you were using a C scale, for instance. Now, I just did that, and that was pretty good. I would give myself, 95. It was almost perfect. You're never perfect, but you have to shoot for 100% perfection. Anything less that's up to you. If you want to be 70% great, that's fine, but I would suggest that you aim as high as you can. Every time you pick the guitar up, go for tone, go for perfection. So let's talk about this C scale. It's just the fingering at the 8th fret, starting on the 2nd finger. I'm sure you all kind of know this. But see, now I hesitated on the string crossing right there. So we're just going to look at my problems. You may have the same or similar problems. Now that note, 4th finger, it's always the one, almost always the one that gives you trouble. I didn't press down quite hard enough, so the note kind of wasn't as loud as the others. What I'm trying to do here is demonstrate some problems that you might have that you can clean up. So I would suggest playing legato, which means making every note ring as long as it can, or linger is what I was going to say. So the notes bleed into each other, and so there's just a continuous sound, because guitar decays naturally, and you want to kind of keep that sustain going. If you're having trouble, for instance, with upstrokes not being as loud as downstrokes, maybe try accenting the upstrokes. So this is down. Just another problem that I've seen some students have, where the upstrokes aren't as loud as the downstrokes. Again, playing slowly like this allows you to play. Or example 3 is a series of arpeggios based on the notes of a C scale. The first one is C major 7. The next one is D minor 7. The next one is E minor 7. The next one is F major 7. The next one is G 7. The last one is A minor 7. Now, again, this is the kind of thing where you could play this as fast as you want, but I would suggest, as you're learning something new, I'll bet this is new for most of you, that you take it very slowly and look at the fingering. When I do this particular fingering right here, you noticed I lifted up my 4th finger and I lost that legato thing that I was talking about in example 2 with the C scale. So this presents a challenge for me, the old dog. See, I can't. This is a good example where the bottom of the 4th finger is not letting the string underneath it ring, because I'm trying to play both notes. So what I would do if you had this problem, or since I have the problem, I'm going to show you. I would toggle back and forth between those 2 strings, getting this finger out of the way, getting the bottom of that finger out of the way. And you would apply this to similar type problems. So far, so good. Now you see I'm experimenting with different fingerings, and I'm doing that to demonstrate to you that you should do the same. Anytime you come to a fork in the road, you should take it. In other words, you should go left and then come back to the fork and then go right. That way, when you're performing and improvising, you will be prepared to follow your imagination instead of just being limited by having practiced something only one way. So this example 3 again presents us some opportunities for picking challenges too. You could use all down strokes. Or alternates. Or all ups. Alternate picking starting with an upstroke. So you get the idea. We're exploring all possibilities of fingerings and pickings, and we're doing it at half tempo. Etc., etc., etc. Example 4 is an excerpt from a piece written by Django Reinhardt called Rhythm Future. It's a whole tone exercise, more or less, and I'm going to demonstrate it at tempo if I can. I'll probably mess it up, which will prove the whole point of why you should practice things slowly. I'm going to turn my metronome on here. It's about 120. So I did it. Now, this is the piece in slow motion. So if that's too fast for you, I would suggest slowing your metronome down. Because right now we're at half tempo for the target tempo that we're shooting for. So we've got the fingering is clean and the picking seems good, but let's try it with all downstrokes just to hear every note of equal value. And then compare that to alternate picking. Back to all downstrokes. Okay, good. So you notice that the all downstrokes were equal in value, tone and value and volume. And then when I went to alternate picking, I was comparing it to the all downstrokes because I think the easiest way to get a good sound is with all downstrokes. Let's try the same exercise and then triplets. Now triplets. And you notice I always go back to the original tempo. Now we're going to do this tempo, the original tempo, the triplets, and the target tempo. Triplets. And the target tempo. Some of you who are familiar with my teachings know that this is also the subdivision exercise, but it demonstrates why playing slowly can help you identify problem spots. Exercise 5 is a challenge for me. It's a new piece for me. It's an excerpt from the Bach cello suites. And it's a good opportunity for us to look at some more difficult cross pickings, larger intervals, things like that. See, right there. Even at this slow tempo, I made a mistake because it's new for me, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to go even more slowly. Now you notice I'm playing extra loud and forcefully. I believe in practicing that way so that you always produce maximum volume with maximum effort so that later when you're performing, you have some headroom to come down and relax, but you're prepared to play at full force and full volume, full energy. The guitar has a dynamic range of about A to B on the alphabet scale. Like a trumpet may be like A to Z, and other instruments have a huge dynamic range. They can get loud, they can get soft. Guitar, you're soft to begin with, and you can only get a little bit louder. But if you practice playing super loud, you'll find that you can also play super quietly. And that gives you more of a dynamic range of, say, A to B to C, maybe D or E. So give that a try when you're practicing. Give it full energy. So you can see that I have some work to do. I think we all have some work to do. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to write to me, care of Acoustic Guitar. This is Paul Mehling saying, keep the faith, stay in the woodshed, don't let your guitar get cold. Bye-bye.